lives.
You know, I think we can all agree, and you can relate to this, that food plays a huge part in relationships. Family dinners, you know, dates, night out. Food is a part of your daily life, obviously. So we have a return guest, Jeremy Gutow, back by popular demand.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kathy.
And we're going to talk about what happens when you have people you know in your family who are picky eaters. What kinds of things can you cook that'll bring the family together? So, tell us a little bit about what you got going on here.
First of all, if you have picky eaters at home, God help you. But I like to tell people I was pretty much the worst. When I was little, I was just about the worst. So I figure if I can make something that I would have eaten when I was 10 years old, I promise you, whatever kid you have at home, they'll do it too.
Okay, did you used to like eat the meat and make it into a ball and then hide it underneath the mash? I got good at that. I'd hide it under the mashed potatoes.
I never did that, but it was very, very easy for my food to have cooties. I mean, for instance, if my food had a mushroom in it, you know, some kids will actually eat around the mushroom. I wouldn't. The whole food was, it had.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I couldn't. I mean, everything had cooties.
Right.
So it was just.
So you're making the cheese sauce here.
Yes, today we are making macaroni and cheese. In fact, let me add these spirals to it right now. We're making macaroni and cheese because I think that most kids will do macaroni and cheese.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And the asset to this macaroni and cheese, this is truly homemade. I mean, homemade. This macaroni and cheese actually has, I figured it out, 2.5 times more protein per serving than, you know, that box that we often buy that, I mean, kids like it and they will eat it. It could be worse, but this has 2.5 times more protein per serving than that stuff does.
I've actually eaten this. It's really, really good. So, tell me about how you got into this, because didn't you start with kids? You started taking care of kids?
Yes, actually, I started cooking for fun when I was very, very young. But the first time I ever started cooking for people on any type of a professional basis, I was a live-in Manny. And I like to tell people I was the very first live-in Manny ever. It was back in 1982.
That probably was the first one.
Yeah. I lived with 2 little girls and their parents for 1.5 years. And then after them, I lived with 3 teenage boys and their parents for almost 8 more years.
Wow.
And so altogether took care of 5 kids between the 2 of them. And then actually more recently, I've become an after-school Manny for 3 different families with 6 more children. And so I have this, I've spent more than my share of time taking care of kids and feeding them.
So you know about nutrition for kids?
Well, I do know about nutrition purely by coincidence. I also was in the nursing home industry for a number of years. I was in charge of activities for 2 dementia units. And when you work in nursing homes, you end up learning a lot about nutrition. And so I was able to apply some of what I learned at the nursing home into children's food as well.
Okay, great. Now, am I going to get to taste this? Because
yes,
I don't see a fork anywhere.
I have a fork right here.
Oh, yay.
And I have a little cup.
Oh, nice. I was just going to eat it out of here, but, you know.
we try to be a little bit more polite than that around here. But
my family knows me. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
This is, of course, the finished product.
Okay.
And it should be nice and warm for you.
Okay. Oh, this looks so good. There's nothing like macaroni and cheese.
Now, I would finish this off by sprinkling on a little bit of paprika and so forth just to give it some more color. Is that okay?
Oh, good.
And macaroni and cheese, this time of year, this is a stick-to-your-ribs food. And again, now I will say this is not the lowest fat dish you could eat, but it's offset by the fact that you're getting so much nutrition. It's okay.
It's also a stick-to-your-teeth food. Excuse me. Okay, we're going to have this recipe on our website at canyourelatetv.com. If you'd like to get a hold of Jeremy, you can do so by calling him at 216-751-4229 or going to your website at jeremygutow.com. Stay tuned. Romance Review is coming up next. I need a toothpick.
Next, have you been paying attention to your pension? If not, it could cost you. We'll tell you why. Then, help for the romantically challenged. Coach Kathy offers advice for Valentine's Day.